What's up, brews and brudettes? It's the Pico Dudes. I'm Jeremy Hidalgo, and with me is the inventor of the Angry Dragon's Too Stout. But today, we're going to review...
Who's that?
Oh, it's Sam Rather.
That's me!
Dude, I was going to have like this super long
Were
middle
you?
name. For...
You super long.
Yeah, I was giving you the Magnum introduction.
The Magnum introduction.
The
No,
Magnum
what
introduction.
I ended up getting was zero introduction. With me, some guy who needs no introduction, and we won't give him one.
You should take that as a compliment.
You know what? Public service announcement. This is about to get shitty.
It's already shitty.
We have had too much, and it's another one of those double, triple episode nights in the new studio video. So I'm doing the Vanna White here. And I'm really just showing off Jeremy, I guess.
Yeah, there's no letters behind me. It's just new studio. This guy.
This guy.
And the yellow wall.
And we're gonna
review something.
Let's do
What is it? Do you even have the bottle ready?
Nope.
Is it ready?
I've got it on ice.
You know what?
Does that sound legit?
That
wasn't soundboard at all.
That sounds legit. We are revisiting one of the first brews that we had. It was the Rogue Brewery.
Dead Guy Ale?
Dead Dude.
Maybach style beer, one of my favorite styles. This is a sweet, a balanced, with some bittering, but really it's just a lot of flavor and easy drinking style beer. I love me some Maybach.
Kind of a spring, early summer seasonal beer that I cannot talk today. I don't know why.
German May. For the month of May, it was a beer that, yes, was created for the spring festivals and was a lower alcohol back then. This one's almost 7%.
Back then.
You know, back then, when I was a kid, I can't even read this. It's 7%, 6.8.
Yeah, it's not lower percent anymore.
Nope, not lower percent. This one's going to get you tipsy.
We like tipsy.
Can you insert a clip of everyone get tipsy?
Everybody in the club getting tipsy.
That's
not the same one.
No, that's the clip I wanted. Just not you doing it.
But not me doing it.
That was so authentic sounding. Where's your Emmy?
I'm not really from the street.
Or, I guess it's not an Emmy. It's like a Grammy?
Grammy.
Okay.
Yes. There you go.
All right. I'll be the Kanye West to your Taylor Swift.
You motherfucker.
Hey, you want to try some of my Dead Guy Ale?
Yeah. And I'm going to cut that last part out. So if you have been listening to our show
at
for
home,
any time, then you need to drink.
All right. We're going to do some Dead Guy not included.
Dead Guy not included.
I want to make a point. So Pico Brew, we've talked about this great...
the brew bag.
The brew bag. The brew bag is a fantastic invention. You can get multiple, like lots of brew kegs in there at once.
Yeah.
But we discovered you wrap a Dead Guy around them, and it keeps the temperature from fluctuating up and down.
Easier on your floors than like
totally
filling it full of water
or something like that.
Then there's no.
Although the Dead Guys tend to leak juices.
But they're not. They're easier to clean up.
So get a fresh one. Change them out often. You can compost them the same way you do your Pico packs. When
Pull
you're
a
done.
Dexter and wrap them in plastic.
Really?
And you'll be good. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, because it contains the juices. We just need to produce a giant Ziploc.
Juicy plastic contains the juice.
Then you can
Let's
sous
open a
vide.
beer.
Never mind.
Oh, that was disappointing.
That was severely underwhelming.
I can imagine some ladies I've known that have had a similar feeling. There's like nothing happened there. I'm worried I might need a different bottle of Dead Guy Ale. But let's pour this and see what happens.
Might go into lost episode territory.
Oh no,
There's
foams. There's foams.
Your SRM is off, but you just poured it into my glass containing some Angry Dragon's Too Stout.
All right, and
that's
not a bad pour right there, Betty.
That's an excellent pour.
This is no tap room pour. I really wish I was
be.
doing this out of our tap room, but it's still a decent pour. And I'm pouring mine in my Dead Guy Ale Rogue glass, and with Dead Guy on it.
You got Dead Guy and a Dead Guy.
So we are going to try. For those of you who've been listening for a while, we've talked about how we're going to compare this to the real thing.
Look at how clear that is. That is super clear. That is commendable.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Now, the store was out of Dead Guy Ale, so you're just going to get us reviewing it. We may go back and compare to the real thing in a later episode, but it's one of our favorite beers out of the Pico Brew, and we had to come back to it this time.
It smells really good.
With extra reclaimed yeast.
Reclaimed? What are you reclaiming it for? Reclaiming. What are you reclaiming it from?
This I reclaimed it from like 3 other beers. This one goes back to Stingray IPA. So the Stingray IPA yeast is in this beer. And when I say it's not the same yeast, it's the exact same yeast. Like I actually poured the bottom of that into another beer,
like 5 beers,
which then got poured into this. And by the way,
we're done with those. By the way, this is the last one.
No more of this. We're going back to whatever
the
yeast
one
came.
Denny Con Smack Pack legacy. It's
Oh
over.
man, it lasted like 4 months.
You got so much mileage out of that.
Out of one, and who would have thought you could have bought your yeast once and used it so many times, and it actually didn't turn out bad. And we're going to find out on this, but if you listen to our last episode, you'll try the Dragon's Tooth Stout, and you'll find that we actually really liked it with this yeast.
I think it's an improvement over the commercial version.
Yeah. I would not say this is a yeast for an IPA. I would go with a different style yeast for an IPA, but this is a fantastic yeast for more of an English or European style beer that's going to be sweeter, maltier, more round in flavor rather than high IBU, high bitter.
Perhaps in German Maybach.
Perhaps a German Maybach.
Mayhaps. Let's see. Well, it smells amazing.
Does it? What's it smell like to you? Dead guy.
It does not smell like dead guy. It has
that spice again, though, doesn't it?
It does. It has a
freaking spice is showing up on every beer we do, except for that one we just did. We get that same cinnamony, whatever, allspice.
Yeah, dude, it's like peach cobbler.
Yeah.
Or peach cobbler.
Or peach cobbler.
Yeah. It's got sort of a cinnamony spice, like a little bit of a fruity smell to it.
Yeah. And it's not bad, but it is strong. It is pronounced.
God, cobbler is right. That's like...
I want to eat this beer. I don't want to drink it. I want some vanilla ice cream.
Well, I want to drink it. I'm going to drink it. I want to see what it tastes like.
I'm going to watch
Are we
gonna?
face. So we've already talked about, just before I do this, I'm gonna tease this a little bit. We've already talked about the Dare and the Dream and all the different malts and the Risk malts that are in here and the proprietary, like...
I mean, those are the best malts ever. Martin Luther King Jr., not Martin Luther. In 1215. No.
Didn't he establish a religion?
The Magna Carta. No, right. I'm way off. I'm not going to go post things in people's doors. This is
Martin Luther King
risky.
Jr. did not have a dream about malt.
You know, he did. He just changed it up for his speech.
And there you have it, folks. This is the inspiration for the famous speech that we heard from Martin Luther King
Jr.
Martin Luther the King.
Bless him.
It smells good. It's got that cinnamony flavor.
I know.
I mean, aroma.
I want you to put it in your mouth. Woo! Double episode.
What is this? That is...
It's confusing, isn't it? This bathroom door has no signs on it. Let me just say that.
It's trans Maybach. It does not sound... It's very good. I'm going to start there.
It's not bad.
No, it's a little reminiscent of
very drinkable.
So I've recently brewed the Monk's Uncle from Pike's Brewing. It's a Belgian triple. This has a little bit of that that spicy note that you get from something like a Belgian triple or a Belgian ale.
This has a ton of spice to me.
This is
like drinking your spice cabinet in a beer.
It's like when so I've done recipes for cider where you throw allspice or cloves in there. I was going to
say that's what I'm getting, the allspice and the cloves.
Yeah,
I got on the nose and I got on the flavor.
Dude, this doesn't say Maybach to me. This says whatever the German equivalent to November Bach would be. You should Google that and then we'll just clone that. Like, because this is an autumn, like Thanksgiving kind of beer.
Without that, I want to order because last year I made. Do you remember what I made? Because I don't gorgeous ale.
Oh yeah.
And it had that pumpkin.
I failed mine.
Major league. I know, and somehow mine came out great.
Yours was amazing. So it had that like pumpkin pie, like I want to say squash bread, but like
It
zucchini bread.
tasted
kind
like
of
Halloween and Thanksgiving together in a glass.
Yes. Like if you go buy a air freshener that smells like fall, or like if you get, my wife
If
has
you
these.
smoke a lot of weed and you need to put a lot of air fresheners in your car.
No. That's the citrus saison
That's
that
the
we've
M&M.
had.
Oh my
to
goodness.
date. That's every.
God, this is just blam.
It's good. It's different. So
It's different.
we have done the Rogue Dead Guy Ale before, and it turned out fairly similar
good.
to the recipe. And if you
Turned out very
watched,
similar to the store bought.
yeah, to the store bought. Sorry, I meant the commercial version. Yeah. This is similar, but autumn style. So,
Yeah, autumn style.
yeah, this is like
The autumn
Opa-
Dead Guy Ale.
Opa autumn style.
Are we doing that?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was about to do the
Do it.
dance.
Can
I'm
you
not.
do it?
No.
Oh, not enough.
It looks
beers?
like riding a pony, and I just turn around into
No, it's like it with a. No.
sexy lady.
I was trying to think of something for the beer, but
Yeah, but you didn't.
I've passed the point where I can be clever drinking.
Did you pass that point?
Well, like at 7.
It's 7. It's
No, like at 7 when I was that many years old.
okay. I was 6:56. I think you have time.
I have 4 minutes
You have
to be
4
clever.
clips you can get in
Yeah.
here. So I'm with you. This is a it's got that spice nose, like real serious spice nose. It's got that spice flavor, especially on the finish, that afterwards finish.
Can you see? Like, I'm super impressed. This is clear, every bit as clear as you would get from the commercial version. It is a beautiful malty, just well balanced beer.
You know what? I think it's too cold.
Why is it too cold? Oh,
I think if we warmed it up, because as I'm waiting and as it starts to warm up, the flavors are opening up even more.
I'm getting so
I can't handle more flavor.
on
Make the flavor stop.
the spices and the aroma and your initial taste.
Yes.
As soon as that goes away, there's a wonderful just malty richness that comes through, and it's almost akin to when you're brewing the beer and you have a little bit of like extra malt extract, or you've gotten some of the malt powder if you're doing
As
extract
a pico
brewing.
brewer, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, as a pico brewer, you do, because if you've ever opened up your pico pack and that grain packet that you get, the giant one, there's like this fine powder that's sort of around and inside the sealed bag. If you
Yes.
ever lick your finger, poke it in there, and then take a taste, that you're gonna get some of that malty flavor coming through. Just knock it off. But if you're
Is that malt?
this poor
That's pretty good.
this poor doughboy woman. How do I cut this out of video? And
You can't. You cannot. You
take a drink.
take a drink. So, so it is, and this is something that, by the way, pro tip: when you're
What was that? Did I do that?
what did happen?
I don't know.
When you're brewing your pico brews at home, and you're opening up your grain pack, it comes in a big plastic surround.
Surround
Whatever you call
bag.
it. It's not a bag.
Your pico pack is not in a bag?
No, a bag would be something with an opening.
Well,
How many bags do you know with 0 openings? Okay. What? There's one bag. I mean, there's enough. Oh my god. I think I just pooped. Anyway. Why? Why? I want to go back to stretcher fails. My eyes, I can't see. So,
I literally can't stop laughing.
anyways, I love you, Hale. It comes in a plastic wrapping. And when you take that off, You have all of this fine grain powder, which is basically like a dextrose. It's a sugar. And it is what, when you add water, becomes this wort, right?
Correct.
But
I
if
think
you
that-
take it off in your house and then a little tiny breeze or you breathe or anything happens, that fine powder goes all over your floor. And then as soon as it gets wet, your floors become sticky.
Yeah.
Like a 60-year-old whorehouse. It is, you can't walk on these floors. Your feet are just... And I'm telling you, go outside, unwrap that bag off of your Pico pack, blow all of that stuff off into the bushes, not in your house, and then give it that popcorn shake. Remember, I talked to you about the popcorn shake Doug taught me.
Yeah.
And you do that popcorn shake because what happens if you don't is you'll stick it in your Pico brew, you'll hit brew, and as the water comes in, you get like this dough ball because it'll have firmed up in the middle during shipping, and it won't fully utilize all the grain in your Pico pack. So you give it that popcorn shake like you would that Jiffy stuff if you're cooking it on your stove
Jiffy
top.
Pop.
Yep. And that's man. That was a hard road to this conclusion.
But that was so.
But you're right. That little fine dust that you get,
Yeah.
it is the
So I
flavor.
actually think, and this is pure supposition at this point, they add some actual extract to the Pico pack that you get with all of your grains. So they mill some of the grains that are added
you think
in there.
inside of that is extract.
I think there is a certain
Are
level
you
of.
accusing Pico Brew?
I'm not accusing them of anything other than making a Pico pack that represents well on the recipe. The fact that
It's
they add
supposed to be
some
pure grain in there.
Well, there is pure grain, and then they can add extract. I
That's
believe
no
they
longer
also.
just grain.
Well,
You think they put extract in there? Really?
well extract?
I
Doesn't,
think we should open up one of these packs and find out.
you can. So I've opened them up afterwards. Of course, by
Afterwards,
then,
yes.
yeah, by then most of the extract gets dissolved.
Go on.
If you have ever been to a homebrew store,
Homebrew shaming.
homebrew store.
Oh, I've done homebrew before.
If you've ever done a homebrew and milled your own grains, you'll get a little bit of the fine powder, but nothing like you get in the Pico packs. There's
Really?
Yeah.
So you think it's a powdered extract?
I think there's a little bit of powdered extract added because.
Okay.
So here's the thing: the whole point
is running so
of so is mine. The whole point of going
good.
through the mash cycle is to extract those sugars,
yeah.
from the grains. And so if that were to happen just simply by milling it, then you would sort of not have to go through that step.
Okay, if those of you watching are wondering why I'm leaning away, I did not just fart, and Jeremy did not just fart. We are still working off of our home-built microphone stand, and I will be over here with Jeremy on the next episodes.
We will still be wearing pants. If you're a long time
Prove it. Don't prove it.
I'm going to have to change the camera angle.
Camera angle. So, going back to the nose, the flavors.
Back to beer.
Let's get back to beer. This is a good beer. It's not as good as I remember the original recipe being from Pico Brew.
I don't know, man. It's good. I
mean,
like it.
It's really good.
It feels like fall outside right now here in Seattle.
Fallout's coming out soon.
Yeah, I would
Did
drink
you
this
say
while playing.
Fallout? By playing Fallout, absolutely.
I would drink this while playing Fallout.
Good Fallout beer.
It's good.
And if I was giving a new Pico brewer, because often they say, hey, bought a Pico brew, I got my 1 or 2 packs that came with it, or none if they're just buying in now and maybe using one of our codes to get one.
Stay tuned till the end.
If I'm a Pico brewer, I'm often wondering, what do I buy? Because I go to the brew marketplace, and it's now well over 100. And again, they're shooting to get to 300, then 500. 500 potentially in 2019 available Pico packs on the storefront there, the brew marketplace. How do I sift through that to find something that, hey, this doesn't taste like the last 4? Because it's a complaint I read about often.
Yeah.
Is, you know what? I've done 4 or 5 beers. They all kind of taste the same to me. I'm getting rid of this machine. It doesn't do what I want it to do.
First of all, don't roll your yeast over from beer to beer. Don't take the same smack pack and put it in every beer you brew.
Cruel. I think it turned out okay.
I'm not saying it turned out bad, but
if you get a great one, that's actually a way to maintain a great beer. But if you get one that tastes like allspice,
yeah, if you were gonna like have one that you consistently kept on brew, and
you take some milk stout and you make a few more dark beers with that yeast,
dude,
I think it would get better and better. But again, follow the Pico Brew recipes until you've become a bit more experienced. And if I was making a list of the beers that you should, the top 4 or 5 you should order and brew first with your Pico Brew, I would say that Rogue's Dead Guy Ale would be on that list. It's very unique. It's a different type beer than, many of the IPAs blend together. A lot of the pills seem to blend together. Even some of the darker beers tend to blend together. But this is a unique beer style out of what's available in the Pico Brew.
We should come together and put
Let's come together
with our top 5 right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
Over me.
I guess we could do it right now. But I would say so far the top 5 beers that like are representative almost of each style that we were gonna brew. If you're gonna go with a Pilsner, you need the Moen Time Pils. That has been the best
It's
representation.
tough to go wrong with Annie.
Yeah. I'd say you gotta throw this Maybach in there.
Maybach gotta be in there.
You gotta get a Denny Con Vanilla Bourbon Imperial. I fucked that up. Imperial
Vanilla Bourbon Imperial Porter.
Yeah.
Stout.
Okay. He nailed it. Go with that one.
You know what? Would you truly recommend that over the Milk Mustachio? Keeping in mind the simplicity of making a Milk Mustachio.
No. So Milk Mustachio is also on the list.
Oh, we're doing double dark.
So, yeah.
Wow.
I think you go...
Wow.
So I think you go your Moen Times Pils is kind of your light beer that you start out with.
I'm with you.
I think your Stingray IPA is your like IPA that you go after.
I completely disagree.
Or it could be your Brew Free or Die.
I disagree there again.
Okay, well, what's yours?
I go NB30.
Okay. If you say so. I think the...
All I know is we walked around, at least when I walked around Pico Brew headquarters, and I talked to several different people, and I said, what's your favorite Pico pack? NB30 came up more than any other Pico pack. And I may have not done the justice, but I'll tell you, of all the IPAs I've made on the Pico Brew, it was leaps and bounds my favorite over any IPA I've tried out of the Pico Brew.
Yeah. I'd say...
And I'm
for the IPA
Bodhisattva guy.
For the IPA slot, it could be the NB30, the Stingray IPA, or
If we were gonna select one,
you know what? I'm just gonna tell you this. I forgot about NB30. So if I forgot about it, then I'm sorry, but it wasn't as.
I think that is a fantastic IPA for a beginner brewer to make.
Yeah.
But my problem is every other IPA I've tried since has paled in comparison. And that's me and my taste, because I'm not a big East Coast traditional IPA guy. I'm a West Coast citrusy, yummy hops, juicy hops kind of guy.
Yeah. Well,
if you like Voodoo Ranger, if you like Bodhisattva, Lucille would agree, but even Bodhi from Georgetown, because hey, we're Georgetown guys, we gotta love them. That's that IPA, that big, bland, delicious, fruity, but still hoppy IPA. So going on, let's finish out this list. You had a Pils.
I had Moen Times Pils. We're at like three interchangeable beers for the IPA slot. IPAs.
MB30.
Yeah. Although I will say that the Mycas Habitus was pretty damn good
that
too.
was. You know what? If you want just a really good traditional IPA, that everyone will be impressed with, that's it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to blow anyone's doors off.
It
will not blow off the doors.
Yeah, I don't feel like we had that IPA that blows off anybody's doors yet.
I'm remaking that NB30.
Let's do it.
Every time I open a bottle, I'm like, oh, I'm sad this isn't NB30.
We've got some new ones coming up, but...
We do. We have about 12 more we have to get through before we can start revisiting.
Between Sam and I think there are...
We're brewing mofos right now, folks.
Yeah, we're getting through probably about 5 to 6 Pico packs a week individually. So I've done 3 last week. I've got 2 more that just arrived today, 2 more that arrived tomorrow. I gave one to Sam, so you got to
This
help.
is fantastic because he hasn't brewed anything in 8 months. So
I know.
now we're finally getting some brews done.
I know I'm gonna catch up with you like in the span of a couple weeks.
Ooh.
So
It's like you're chasing me in a subway late at night.
so far though, like, God damn it. So far, I already said fuck in this episode. So
Fuck. We gave him a warning at the beginning. If you let your child listen to this, shame on you, or your child's well-rounded. I don't know.
yeah, I mean there are technically studies that say people who cuss more might be more intelligent or less, depending on the study you
Are
read.
those studies written by people who cuss more?
Rappers.
It's all written by rappers. It's all part of Eminem's beef.
Yeah.
So this is on that list. And again, I think we should come up with in post new Pico brewers. What are the 5 you should go to? We might even do a little poll and say, hey, which of these would you select? Because I think you did well. I think Annie's Pills is a great start.
Mm-hmm.
I think we both agree this Dead Guy Ale's on there.
Yeah.
I think Denny Kahn's Imperial Bourbon Porter Stout is also on there. And I would even do it without vanilla or bourbon if you just wanted a good stout. But I would fight for Milk Mustachio over it.
No, so my thought is you go like when you go to a winery and you do some like flight tasting and they start you out a little bit lighter and then they end you up with like a port or a dessert wine.
That's traditionally how it works.
Yeah, so I'm thinking the Denny's vanilla bourbon imperial
That's the dessert.
porter stout is your dessert.
Okay.
Because you throw those in there, you get to experiment a little bit. That's kind of like at
But
the
Milk
end of your-
Mustachio is your Cabernet Franc.
But Milk Mustachio is right before that.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I can buy that.
then prior to that, so you've got the I think you've got the pills, the one of the two
pills. Is that our
the pills
Pinot Grigio?
Yeah, that's your like what's that other
Even
one?
worse, it's our Riesling.
It's
The pills is
your
our Riesling.
Your Riesling.
You're starting on the pills.
Yeah, or God, there's a wine I'm thinking of.
Don't
that
worry,
starts with
it's
a V.
off dry.
Yeah, Viognier. That's what I was thinking of.
Viognier. Yeah, okay.
So then you got your Viognier of like your pills, then you go into your Dead Guy, then you hit your IPA, whichever
This is
the
a
three
nice
that you-
red blend. This is a good red blend. As soon as you hit the reds, this is that very smooth red blend. It's your
We've had some pretty good reds on this off of the Pico Brew too. The Beardless Brewer red is okay. The Mermaids red was pretty good. The ORB was rough, so that's not on the list.
No, this is like a GSM. It's that Grenache, Syrah, Red Ray. This is that good red blend that you don't get by just making it straight up. It's kind of a unique thing that you have to intentionally create.
Yeah. So I think this sits.
God, people have been listening to us try and describe this beer for like 14 minutes now, huh?
We started out with a lot of descriptions about this beer, and then
We did, and then it just went off rails.
do you want to rate it?
Sure. You rate it first. It's my beer.
I don't know, man. This is like, I think we've entered it kind of a experimental realm with this one.
We're in a whole new universe.
This isn't necessarily the Dead Guy recipe.
It's not. It's not. This
But
is
it
very
is-
drinkable.
It is really good. Like I would say I would say you should hold on to a
I was gonna say,
cultivation
this is a
of
holiday
that
beer, man.
yeast, and
Oh,
you
have
should.
this with some turkey.
It's kind of like a spice cider or
Yep.
something. It's so good. This would go great with turkey. You
Okay,
are
fine.
a genius.
I'm at a 4. I don't know where you're at.
I'm at a 4, maybe even a 4.25,
Wow.
4 and an
Okay.
eighth. Man, I'm gonna go 4.25 because I like it. I like
Super
it a
drinkable.
lot.
And I love just the Dead Guy Ale. It's
There's-
the only Maybach I have found in the store, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm so surprised nobody else has tried to create a Maybach.
There's no there's no like pumpkin to this, but this is
Nope.
like pumpkin pie without the pumpkin. So I don't know what you call that, but it's
Pie.
Oh, you. So yes.
You. He held my hand and looked in my eyes as he said that. You'll have to watch the video to see.
It's
if
good. I'm at a
truth.
4.
All right, I'm at a 4 on it.
I think
Really good. And I'll say this: brew it. This is almost one that you can't mess up unless you just really got something in it at some point. But this is just a good. Every time we've done it, you've done it, I've done it. I've done it a couple times. It's just a good beer.
Yeah. So it's safe to say we've got an express sort of goal on our show to review every Pico pack ever released by Pico Brew.
That will destroy us.
It's difficult.
We're going to need some help. We could do it, but this may turn into a daily podcast.
The challenge with that is
I will be 800 pounds.
We do find some of these that are
you want to
so
do over
good.
and over
we
and over.
want to just do them over and over and have them on standby
Yep.
and like in my refrigerator all the time so I can drink. This one is one. Milk Mustachio is one. Denny Con is one, but it takes a lot of effort.
That's why I hesitate from putting it on a list of top 5 for a new brewer.
I still think you got to do that as your like. It's the 5th one.
Is that your
brew.
graduation ceremony?
Yeah, that's your thesis paper. Like
because
have to,
once you pull that off, you go back to your machine. You're like, I can do anything.
Yeah, I mean, I really do. That's like it's a little bit of a project. Is that
the moment you fell in love with your Pico Brew? Because for me, it kind of was. Because before I was just hitting buttons and it was creating something. That's the first time I made a beer where I had such an impact. I picked the vanilla. I picked the bourbon. And anyone who's listened to that horrible shit show of episodes.
It was actually we've heard one of our most popular episodes.
It is also somehow one of our most popular episodes.
It's because we're drunk.
So
spoiler
neat
alert.
To then take something that the Pico Brew created and then we made 6 wildly different beers out of that same Pico Brew created.
And all fantastic.
And well,
no, but even so here's the thing though, is I'm thinking like even as we've done other tastings where we've had 2 beers that were the exact same recipe back to back with slight variations.
Yep.
The slight variation you make in a recipe makes such an impact on the final product. And so the thing is like we had the Dragon's Tooth Stout and we tried the commercial version versus the Are you snoring? Am I that boring?
Angry.
Oh,
Dragon's
okay.
Tooth
The
Stout.
angry Dragon's Tooth Stout, and we
like
tried that
Daenerys
against
got nothing on this.
Against the Pico Brew version with the 1450
Yeast.
yeast. It's the Y
Y yeast 1450.
Y yeast. That's what I'm looking
Yeah.
for. And so the thing is there was a huge difference, and there was
It was huge. It was huge.
huge. And so it made such an impact. That's not when I fell in love with the Pico Brew.
When
by the way.
did you fall in love with the Pico Brew?
The first time I put in a Pico pack and went out and mowed the lawn. And
Really?
Yeah, because I was really
Because you homebrewed. I never homebrewed.
I was so into homebrewing for so long. I tried. I got Sam. I got friends into it. I got other friends into it, and we did
into
all
it,
grain.
All
and,
you mean is we drank it.
Well, yeah.
I never brewed anything. I just loved drinking.
Well, but I had other friends that are like they built all grain like brew setups. We did extract brewing. It was a whole thing, and it took, at minimum 4 to 6 hours to do a brew on a Saturday or whatever. And once I had
Total
children,
time with the Pico Brew, 15 minutes.
well, the time you have to be in attendance,
The time you
yeah.
have to be involved,
Yep.
15 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I think the one caveat to that is you still have to be fairly clean.
Not counting sanitation.
Yeah, you do have to be clean in your processes and how you do everything, and that's something that you're still learning.
Do you count how long it takes to wipe when you time a poo?
No.
I mean, come on. Sanitation doesn't count.
I feel like we're at a day and age where there should be an app for that. Like
For timing your poop?
No, not for timing it, but for actually like
You should.
getting you clean down there, because we have apps for everything else.
We know how long to brush our teeth. You've got a pretty good app for wiping. It's when it's not white anymore, you keep going.
Yes, I understand that, but I feel like there should
There's
be
an app for that.
There should be something more than a giant wad of paper.
How do blind people know when to stop? So it's just, I guess I'm with you, but I would prefer a phone because here's my problem.
I would prefer a foam.
Phone? No,
Like,
no.
Something that cleans. I want nanobots go clean that.
I want nano, but that would be awesome. We work in a workplace that has limited stalls. And since the popularity of the device, those stalls tend to be occupied for significant
Oh my God.
amounts of time. There almost should be an app that turns on when you walk in the bathroom, and after 6-7 minutes, like goes, time to wipe. And if you're not done yet, see a doctor. But it should like cut you off. I went into a bathroom once. A man was already in there.
Just once.
No,
Normally it's a
listening
field.
to soccer in Spanish at full volume in a stall. And I sat next to him, did all my business, got through at least one goal, left. And on my way out, I had to make a comment because I'm like, this guy is just living. Like, he's set up camp in
No,
there.
I think you misunderstand. He had an app, and when he dropped a load, it went go. Skadoosh.
So, yeah, we should come up. We should look at some potty time apps. I'm totally for it. Potty time apps.
The Pico.
I got a
Pico poos.
Pico Poo. Oh, we got to call someone at Pico Brew.
Is that for only people who have like
No,
the tiniest
stop.
poos?
No. Okay.
I got a Pico brew.
I thought that was going to be so much worse. Where my mind went with that. I think we've done a good job with Dead Guy Ale here, and I think we've probably bored our listeners long enough. Thanks for sticking with us. Do you got any final thoughts on this?
Go buy a Pico pack of the Dead Guy Ale and brew it.
Brew it. This is even in my top 3 recommendations. Brew Dead Guy Ale
So far, I'm with you.
with your Pico Brews. So, I guess on that note,
What are your top 3?
me?
Yeah. Yeah, Scooby. Yeah, Scoob. I don't know what voice that was.
Hey, Scoob.
There you go.
Scooby snacks.
So where are your top 3 on this?
Well, like, this one's pretty good.
Milk Mustachio.
Milk Mustachio, Dead Guy Ale, NB30 IPA.
Okay.
That would be, I think that's Strassenbrau that makes that one. Those would be, every time I open a beer or get one at a restaurant, I want it to be one of those 3 beers.
One of those.
And they're wildly different. That's the best part about those 3. I think the Pils is fine. I'm not a big Pils fan. I think it's fine if I'm sitting on my porch and I'm just chilling. But there's a lot of other beers I'd like to drink that have a bit more to them.
Sure.
Like a Rogue Dead Guy Ale. That would replace a Pils for me. The NB30 goes great with just about any food. It's got enough hop and enough character to it to really hold its own against anything. And man, Milk Mustachio. Oh, I really have still questioned my 4.75.
I went full 5 on that.
I know you went full 5s on it, and it's tough. That was a fantastic beer. It's one that I constantly go, I wish I was drinking that. And as winter comes, winter is coming.
I spent the weekend finishing that beer.
Finished it.
Finished it. Fatality. It was so good.
Awesome. So that would be my top 3. What about you? Would you replace one of those with something else?
The NB30 is one that I would probably replace,
Yeah, I knew it.
but I'm a dark beer guy, so I would replace it with the Denny Con. Other than that, I'm a fan of the
That's still a
Maybach.
good beer. It's a really good beer.
I'm a fan.
You
of,
still count this in your top 3 then?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I'm really enjoying. I enjoy this. I think with the yeast 1450 it's my favorite version that I've had.
Yeah, you only give it a 4. Top 3, and it's a 4.
But I don't know what I had given it previously because my memory doesn't go back to the first time we reviewed this.
we were youngins.
I think I gave it a 3.75 back then.
Really? That's it?
Yeah. I can't remember for sure.
All right. Well, you
Somebody
know what?
fact check me.
one of our intents, one of the things I'm looking to do is build a spreadsheet with every beer from every episode and your rating and my rating,
Yeah, throw it up on the website.
as well as the average Pico Brew rating, at least at that time,
Yeah.
so that we can put that up. Won't take much storage. People can easily see how we have fallen in on these beers. And we can even put in a couple notes like what yeast was used and, okay, wait, this beer's getting to me.
Is it really?
Pardon me. Oh, like, I'm turning into the town drunk.
You gotta pour it right.
I got to make it all the way across the grass to get home tonight from the studio. So, I love it. I thank you for coming and joining me today. I think we've had another delicious beer. We may even try this up against a bottled version if this turns into a complete and utter shit show. And before we go, I think we should throw a shout out to a couple new friends.
Yeah, Casey, Carlos, and
Rick!
Rick.
I'm Pickle Rick, bitch!
Pickle Rick. No.
Show us what you've got.
So
Sorry, a couple of Rick and Morty references there for you guys.
yeah, I think we got reached out to from one of the other. It's
We got reached out.
Homebrew Bound. Is another
Homebrew
podcast.
Bound.
Dude, these dudes
We're
are
gonna totally
freaking
rip off their intro, by the way.
Yeah,
These guys are fun.
They have a really good intro, and they're ballers, dude. They went through 80 BJCP styles in roughly 80
They
weeks.
went through but when I say went through, they didn't pico brew that stuff.
No.
They homebrewed all 80 BJCP styles, and then talked about them on their podcast.
Dude.
I'm humbled. I'm intimidated to a degree, but I want to know these guys better. And
Inspired. We're inspired.
Inspired. There you go. It's Blind Ninja Studios, and they've got this Homebrew Bound, and you can find them on iTunes.
2 podcasts a week. Is the Pico Dudes going to 2 podcasts a week? Should
we
we
might
do that?
have to soon. We're gonna have to up our game.
Anybody who wants to help us brew as much beer as we need to do
That's
2
the
podcasts
biggest
a week.
problem.
Andy Lusk, Ketchu Trevino.
Get in
anyone.
on this.
Yeah. We need some beer.
Get in here, buddy.
Bert.
Get in here.
I ordered Bert's first recommendation. So he was our first. We just kiss fists. That sounds way dirtier than it is. That's street for fist bump. Yeah, street. So
You are so street.
so
Hey.
our first.
Yo, dog, want to kiss fists? I kiss fists like a mopo.
Our very first Patreon.
Hey, no tongue, brother.
Sent us the recommendation. We're doing the Yeast Wrangler.
Really?
The Yeast Wrangler.
Wow.
It's ordered. It's in my house. It's
I'll go
getting
get
brewed
with
up
Red
this
Dead
week.
too. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeast Wrangler.
Yeast Wrangler.
All right. Until then,
God, is this episode over yet?
it needs to be.
I really want some more of your beer, though. On that
I'll pour you
note,
some. Pico dudes.
out.
Out.
You've reached the end of another episode of the Pico Dudes podcast. Connect with us at picodudes.com, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. And if you enjoyed our show, we'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and give us a review wherever you listen to your podcasts, but mostly iTunes. Also, if you want a code that will help give you some discounts off the Pico Brew equipment, Z150D equals $150 off of the Z Series. Pro, Pro 125D gives you $125 off of the Pico Pro, and C75D gets you $75 off of your purchase of a Pico C. We hope you enjoy listening. Look forward to hearing from you. Pico Dudes out.